this second part, we're going to continue to add some interesting effects here to our fence. Let's take a look at another cool feature of our bridge tool. I'm going to once again just select some faces there, delete them, and we'll select the border edge, and we'll run the bridge tool between here. But this time, I'm going to change my options here so that it goes smooth path plus the curve. And if you remember, our default settings are linear path. We're just going to click smooth path plus the curve, and we'll choose bridge. Now it looks like an ordinary bridge, but if I choose wireframe by hitting 4 on the keyboard, I'll notice that there's something extra inside of there, and that is a curve. And that curve will allow me to control the bridge that I just created. So let's add some extra divisions here. I'm just going to increase that to 12. And I'm going to switch to object mode and select my curve inside of there. And just right click on the curve itself. Could be a little tricky because of a little tight space there. And just choose Control Vertex. Now I can manipulate the points on that curve. And I'll hit W, and I'll grab this and shift it. And you can see that that bridge follows along with it. Now I can use the up and down arrow keys to select different control vertices of my curve. So we'll just choose down arrow, which gets me to the next CV there. And there's another one. They're a little too close together, so we're going to spread those out a bit. Pull this one down. Maybe pull that over. We'll just kind of stretch that. Now, at any point, I can still go back into my bridge, whether it's in the attribute editor or the channel box, doesn't matter. It's going to be the same data. I could increase my divisions so that we get a more smoother looking bar there. We could also add our twisting effect or even our taper effect. So I'm actually going to twist this because I want to show just one other option here. And let's go back to shaded mode. And we'll increase this here to 20. Down below here, we have an option for the smoothing angle. If you remember in our first part, we went in and manually softened and hardened the edges along this bar. With the smoothing angle feature, we can actually do it right inside of the tool. Now, this may not always work out because it's going to change all of them to match this value here. So there's a certain criteria. So our hope here is that the edges that we want to be smoothed will all smooth out at a lower angle before any of the edges that we want to keep hard. So the harder ones are going to need a much greater angle in order to smooth out. So without reaching that, they're going to stay nice and hard. So we just had to raise that up a little bit. But if I were to increase it, now we exceeded that hard edge angle. So they softened out. But we're just going to bring that down, and anywhere within this range is going to be fine. Whether it's 60 or 40, it's not going to make a difference. They are still just going to be smoothed. So that can be a little bit easier than actually manually going in and selecting those. Let's do one more bridge effect here. I'm going to select this face here, and let's go down. We'll select the fourth face or so. And I'm going to delete those faces. And we'll go to the bottom row as well. And I'm going to select the corresponding faces here. We're 3 apart. And we'll delete those. We don't want that one. Let's deselect that and then delete. And we'll go back to edges. And I'm going to select these border edges up here at the top only. And you'll see the effect that we can get here. We're going to go to Edit Mesh, Bridge, open those options. And I'm just going to switch this back to Smooth Path. Choose Apply. And I get this cool little arch in there. Actually, I'm going to undo that because I want that arch to be a little bit bigger. So instead of that face, I just want to select that fourth one. And we'll grab that one and that one. Selecting too much, double check that back side. Deselect that. All right, and we're going to go back and we'll select our border edges here. Now, we cannot do both at the same time. I can't select the bottom and the top and then bridge. It's not going to work out very well. And we'll just choose bridge. And now I just get a nice longer piece in there. And we could increase our divisions. We'll just increase that to 6. So I get a nice center piece there. What's happening here is that that blend is actually causing that arch. If we were to change and use the linear path, it would just flatten out. And it would be very difficult for us to even know that there was a bridge between there. Let's select the bottom. And once again, add our bridge. And we'll increase that division to 6. And then what I could do is select these faces here and bridge between these two. Selecting the back face again. Delete that and double select. There we go. Add another bridge in between it. And we can add a curve and we can bend that. We can twist it. We can add all of those features that we've already talked about there. So we can get pretty creative with the bridge tool. It is pretty powerful. It has lots of different settings. I'll let you play with that. I'm going to go through and finish out a full section of the iron fence, and we'll come back and take a look at some other tools.